Hi, it's Gadget UK here again. This time, as you can see, we're looking at a Sega Saturn 3D controller. So yeah, it's a Japanese version. You can see it's pretty yellowed. This is described as faulty. I'm not sure what might be wrong with it. We'll try. I'll connect it in a minute. Does that come off? It looks like it. Yeah, it does disconnect. Can you see how dirty it is? And it's like, well, if you look at the screws and stuff, we've got soil. It's like this has had flood damage or something, I think. So I'm expecting it's going to be very dirty inside. I was going to say I was tempted to take it to pieces before I do anything, but I might just plug it in. I think we'll just try it on the Saturn. Yes, yellowed again. I can de-yellow that. We'll just give it a try and see what happens. So as you can see, I've got it connected there, and if I just carefully point you at the screen here, I'll see if I can get this on camera at the same time. It's still connected, but yeah, nothing happening at all. None of the buttons working. We'll try and switch it off circle pad into normal mode. Nothing. So they've got a damaged cable or something very wrong with it. So yeah, we'll take it apart, I think, just to see if we can work out what's going on. Oh, we had something there then. Is it that connector? Yeah, just putting a bit of force here on the connector. You know, the part I showed is detachable. Just pressing this in, it's suddenly got a bit of activity. Yeah, you can see the D-pad's working there. So yeah, we'll strip it down and have a look inside. So let's have a look how we get inside this. Well, we can't even see the screws. Can you see? It's just black holes. But yeah, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. So yeah, I'll try and get the screws out. Yeah, so they seem like just Phillips screws, but these are well and truly stuck in there with dirt. Let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. These screws are so bad actually, I'm going to get in there. They're really bad. It's a solvent, but it will help because I think they're corroded. They're heavily corroded. If we just put some pressure on it. Yeah, that's coming out now. Yeah, might need to replace those screws, I think. Yeah, can you see that? It's just like, you know, I managed to get them out, but yeah, there's just tons of corrosion in there. So yeah, I'm getting WD-40 all over the place, but it's just going to be par for the course kind of thing really with this, because these are so heavily corroded. Again, that's so tight, I can't even get it out. So, a bit of a nightmare actually. The screw here is completely lost its top. You know, the head is just disintegrated. I don't know if you can see. It's the best I can do is I put a little flat blade on it. I can just about, as I turn the flat blade round, get just a slight grip there. Now I've put incredible pressure on the top. I've used some pliers like this and put incredible pressure down like that, but I just cannot get it to stay on there at all. I might have to drill this out or something. I've sprayed WD-40 down there. You know, I'm just not sure how to get in this. So just to zoom out a little bit, you're a little bit close there. Maybe, you know, I could just break the pillar or something, but I don't want to. If I can do that, I'd like to try and avoid it, but you know, maybe if I could just like rock it forwards and backwards a bit like this, it might snap the pillar off inside. Other than that, it's going to be a case of getting a drill and trying to drill the head straight off, I think. I don't really like doing that, because then if you're not careful, if you drill too much, you can't get the thread out at all to put a new screw in. Although it probably doesn't need it, to be fair. It's going to have the 4 screws, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, you know, on the edges there. It would be nice to have that 5th screw there. I mean, I will have to replace these. The ones I took out aren't too bad, but certainly that one's dead. I'm sure that's what it is, because you can see all the dirt and stuff in here, and it's like, as I wiggle this connector, it started to work. So I think we've just got like really dirty connections and things. Obviously this piece I can treat with a bit of H2O2. Be careful not to get it inside the connections here. Get some contact cleaner in there. So that bit is going to be alright to deal with, but I do need to somehow get inside here. So it would have been cleaner to have drilled that out, but as you can see, the pillar just came off after a lot of messing around. It's just snapped off. So it's not a big deal. I can probably remove that now. I'll probably, yeah, because I can rotate it, I'll find a way to get that off there. But anyway, we've got access to the pads. You can see how dirty it is. It's absolutely filthy. Look at the dirt inside there. So yeah, we'll clean up all the silicons. They look all right. There's no tears or very little wear actually. They look hardly used at all. I mean, the controller does look in very good condition, apart from the fact it's dirty and a bit yellowed. It looks hardly used, so yeah, we'll take out all these buttons, clean those in the sink, clean up the contacts on there. You can see those are a bit oxidised, so I can focus a little bit. Yeah, so those will need cleaning up a bit. Yeah, we'll take that off. I think that's probably one of these ones you can just clip off with teaspoons, get a couple of teaspoons under there, and it should clip off that underside piece, I think. I'm not going to force it, I'll have a look at that in a minute. That's interesting, that pink button there is just one solid piece of rubber. You know, the middle button that goes in there, that's really weird. Didn't expect that. So let's look at the PCB here now. So we've got the thumbstick, a couple of SMD electrolytics there. I'll obviously have a close inspection of this board and clean up anything that needs cleaning up. We'll remove the screws and stuff. It's obviously going to be... oh, it'll come straight out, there we go. Yeah, so there's nothing on this side. Yeah, it just needs a clean. I think it just needs a clean. And it's like I say, I think it's this interconnect here that was the problem. That was where we had a bad connection. I mean, the solder looks all right there, as you can see. We've got a little MCU there and something there, I'm not sure what, without having a closer inspection with a magnifying glass. But yeah, we'll just clean up the pads here with some IPA, just like traditional controllers really. I've got another chip down here as well. Yeah, no idea what those are for. I'll have to have a close-up look. How does this come off? Yeah, it's like it's attached with a spring. Can you see that? It's like fitted with a spring. So I'm not sure how you get into that to clean the internals of that. I'll have a tinker. So wash the plastic parts in the sink there just with soap and water and a brush. Now you can see there's some nasty black marks. Those will probably come off with either a bit of IPA or some plastic cleaner. You know, you can see them all around the edges here. So we'll try a bit of IPA first, I think. But I will go over this with some plastic cleaner as well, because it'll just bring it up like new probably. It's the same on the underside. Now it's yellowed. I'll de-yellow this. What I'll probably do is assemble it and then just you know, cover the bits with some H2O2 that need de-yellowing. I might take the case off before I do that, I don't know, but you can see we've got some black speckles or something there. I'm not sure what the hell that's from, and obviously some scuffs and things there as well, so it's a bit over bright that. So I've got some IPA on here now. Let's just give that a go and see if any of these marks will come off with IPA. Possibly not. Yeah, I think they're a bit too stubborn to come off with IPA, those. Let's try the ones on the top. Let's try that one there. Yeah, it's going to need a bit of plastic cleaner, I think. And some of them are coming off, actually. So I've got a bit of Maguire's plastics there. Let's just give that a go on this corner piece here, just to see if we can get off those black marks. So a large number of the scratches and things have been removed there. You can see where it was all like mucky on the edges here, all around the sides. The marks have gone. It's a bit yellowed here. We've got a little scratch there. I think there's a little scratch there. But as you can see, yeah, all the black marks and things have come off. That looks pretty good. And you've seen it a million times before, but just a bit of IPA lightly on the surface here. So like I say, they're not showing much wear, these actually. I do think it's been lightly used, this pad. There's about 50 or 60 games, I think, that specifically support this. There's a switch on the pad there to switch over to disable, you know, to go back to like manual. digital D-pad mode, which is how the original controllers work for some of those early games that don't support the pad. But yeah, a lot of my favourites, things like Die Hard Trilogy, they support it. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays with that actually, because I've never tried this particular pad before. So with regards to these contacts, I tend to either use a wire brush or a tiny bit of very lightly abrasive sandpaper just to clean the contacts there, because unless those are super clean, it's not going to make good contact when you're moving it around. Some deoxit or something else might be a good idea. You could just temporarily use a bit of WD-40 there because of the solvent to clean that, and then clean it off with some IPA afterwards, because you don't want WD-40 affecting the connectivity. And then just bend these up a tiny little bit like that, so they make a nice good contact when you put it back on the PCB there. Very lightly. You don't want to wear any of it off, really, just the surface, clean the surface. So all I've done here is just go over this with some IPA, and on top, you can see how dirty that is actually. It was filthy. In theory, I should be able to get this cap off here. I'm just not sure I want to at this stage, because I've got no reason to believe that's a fault. I think it was just a connectivity thing, and as you can see, there doesn't seem, as you can't see, there doesn't seem to be a way into it. It's like connected with a spring. If I pull too hard, that whole thing's going to come out there, and I'd rather not interfere with that mechanism in case I break it. I might come in here at a future date. I'm not saying I'm not going to go in there ever, but right now I think I'll just leave it as it is, and we'll just reassemble this and just see how it works now. So with the edge connector here, just a bit of sandpaper here. This grips the PCB, on both sides, so you're not going to be able to see very well in there, but yeah, it's just 5 contacts on the top, 5 on the bottom, I think. So it really is just a case of doing something like that, and then just blow the dust out of it. It should be good. And again, I've shown this before, but yeah, any screw heads that are corroded like that, either replace the screw entirely, or on these, but that one that was unsalvageable are just surface corrosion. So I can just go over it like this with the wire brush, get off the surface corrosion there. So all reassembled. I haven't done any retrobrine yet, but yeah, we'll give it a try. Obviously that screw there's missing now, but it held together fine. It looks okay. We've got rid of all the marks really, apart from just a little mark there. The nice thing about these, just thinking about this now, because the cable's detachable, if you get a cable fault, you could just take one from another, faulty unit or something. But yeah, I'll need to clean up the PCB edge that goes into there, which I'll do now, just before I connect it, and we'll try it. And of course we might have a damaged cable here, but the beauty, because this is, you can take this to pieces, I could always just, cut an inch off here and join it up inside, and then we're done again. So I quite like that actually. I'll clean up the plastic part of this in a minute, and this is the part I'm going to retro bright actually. I might leave the controller because the controller's alright, but this cable, certainly this end here, I could just get some tape around there and then just retro bright that whole thing, just leave it soaking for a number of hours, and it should come up good as new. But yeah, that's all we need to do, is just clean that PCB like that, and we'll give it a try. And that worked first time actually. I'll show you. I've just plugged it in. You can hear it working there, moving the directions and stuff. I'll test all the buttons out. Yeah, that's worked. So whilst I was here, I took off the analog stick. You can see we've got 4 of these, I think they're like Hall effect type sensors, they detect magnetic fields. I think that's what they are. So in here there must be magnets or something, or a magnet inside the sensor, and as you tilt it, obviously it varies the magnetic field. It affects the magnetic field there. So I guess, unless there's something missing out of there, I don't know. So just testing this now, I'm not showing you, but a Sega Rally Championship, it's pulling to the right hand side, I think. It's pulling one way, just slightly. I cannot see anything, this is totally centred here, unless the magnet had moved inside here. I seriously doubt it. The only other thing I could think of was to inspect here. You're not going to be able to see this very well, I might see if I can get it to focus. But yeah, this sensor here is a bit more raised on the left hand side. All the others are pretty flat, so I might just heat the pins on that side of it and just press it down just to make sure it's as flat as possible. That might be the problem. It might have been like that since manufacture, I don't know, but I'm going to give that a try. So the other thing to note here is the cap. You can pull the cap off. Be careful, because the spring, you can see a bit of it there. If you're not careful, the spring can come over this side of the plastic, so you've got to make sure you push it back on all four sides, otherwise it won't self-censor. So that could have been part of the problem as well, but I did just flatten that edge Hall effect sensor there, Hall effect sensor, I call it Hall, it's got is it double L, I can't remember. Yeah, anyway, that sensor, so we'll give that a try now and see if that's solved it. And this only goes on one way. Can you see there's a little notch there? That notch has to correspond with that hole there, like that. That's it. Yeah, so as you can see, that's working now. If I just leave it self-censor, and I can steer left, steer right. So it would appear that that sensor was perhaps misaligned from manufacture. It was really weird. I don't think it was anything to do with the spring. It could have been the spring. It was one of the two things, but yeah, that's working spot on there. As you can see, it's working fine on Virtua Cop 2 here. If we just move it a little bit, watch, I'll show you, move it a little bit, it moves a little bit, really slowly. Or you can just shoot across the other side like really quick with it. So that's one of the benefits of playing a game like this with an analog stick. Light gun's better. I forget to reload. But yeah, that's working sweet. Just clean up the connector, show you that, and then we're all done. So with the cable, I just get a bit of IPA onto a rag and just do a bit of this. Yeah, no funny comments below, thank you. Sometimes putting your foot under the wire and then just pulling it out and doing a bit of this is the technique to clean it all. Just don't stretch it too hard, you don't want to damage the wire, but you can see you get an awful lot of dirt off the cable there. As you can see, I cleaned up the connector a little bit there. It was very, very yellowed. It's nowhere near as bad now. The controller, I've not really done anything with. It's just slightly yellowed underneath, but as you can see on top there, it looks absolutely sweet. And obviously, you know, clearly it's working fine and stuff. I cleaned up this as well, did a bit of retro brighten on there, so that's nice and tidy now. Anyway, hopefully you found that interesting. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.